Hey traders, Raghee here. Welcome to Charts and Coffee for Monday, September 13. Hope everyone's doing well. All right, so quick visit to the economic calendar for this week, and just scrolling through what we have coming up. Pretty quiet economic front today, but that does not mean we won't have a lot of interesting data coming up tomorrow, the 14th, with the CPI numbers. Remember, growth numbers, inflation numbers, um, jobs numbers. These are all going to be things that map to ultimately the messaging from the Federal Reserve. So taking a look past Wednesday and into Thursday, core retail sales, consumer behavior. That's going to be a fairly important thing. So we have a couple interesting data points coming up this week. And we continue to be in an environment where, look, there's still two really good uptrends on the broader indices, and that happens to be the S&P and the NASDAQ. So we don't want to ignore that. A lot of folks are asking me, and whether it's the free videos over at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel or just generally people asking in the chat rooms and whatnot, when are you going to get bearish? And I'll tell you, not to be cute, but I will be when my indicators tell me to be. All right, gang, let's see if we can't get this rolling again. Let me try. Okay, let's give this a whirl. Not sure if it's working. No, maybe. Oh, it's back. Excellent. All right. Yeah, we have some nasty storms rolling through here in the area. I could probably flip the camera and show you, and I don't know if it's just affecting the internet for a little bit. Okay. Very cool. All right. Yeah, we just have some storms rolling through. The internet's cutting out, which rarely happens in my area, but there you have it. We're getting some internet issues. All right. So let's get back to where we were. I was talking about the economic calendar for this week. And again, keep in mind, we have a pretty open calendar as far as the entire week, but two really big releases. One is going to be the CPI, and the other is going to be retail sales. And I would keep an eye on Tuesday tomorrow, Thursday the 16th for those two. Because remember, the way in which the messaging from the Fed is going to map forward, it's going to be based on these data points that they can, justify what they're going to be doing going forward from here. So let's go ahead and grab some questions here. Looks like everything is back on track. All right. So first up is URA and UNG. Is it too late to go long? Well, I'm sure different traders will have different takes on it, but I would say most definitely. That's it. We're already long UNG. We've been long natural gas since mid to late August, and then that's been moving higher. Anytime you see a market making a higher high, I will tell you this, it will never be a time I say, yeah, let's get long at a higher high within the context of an uptrend. So yeah, for now, I'd say we need to wait for some sort of pullback. I'm not a momentum trader, and it's really not going to be something that I would recommend most traders do, which is, jump in on a market that's suddenly become accelerated or parabolic. Definitely not my cup of tea. All right, let's see. What's my take on the US dollar? Sure. I recently shorted the euro at a previous high only to get stopped out. I don't know what that means, previous high, Alex. If you can give me a price level, that would be helpful. But what we talked about specifically was fading the 200 exponential. And that's this area here. And the tricky thing about fading anything around a 200 is making sure edge or there is a price level, major, minor psychological level, previous highs. The high that I'm keeping an eye on, as long as we're on the topic of highs, is basically 1920, the minor psychological level. I'm not going to panic if we get up that way. And so when we make a high at 1911 on the 3rd of September, that's still below the high that we put in on July 30th. This is still very much an intact, overbought move to the downside. So again, I still am sticking with what we talked about in previous updates, which is I like this short. And I like the short in markets like the Canadian dollar and potentially even the Australian dollar, as long as the US dollar can stay strong. But what I like also about those two currencies is if the Australian dollar, for example, stays weak and the US dollar goes flat, there's still an opportunity there. Okay, Alex? So yeah, keep an eye on that 200 on the 6E for that euro short dollar buy. So I like where you're looking. I really like where you're looking in terms of the opportunity. All right. So good morning, gang. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, just some weird storms rolling through here in the area. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with the live trading. We've got the last day, second session of live trading. You can still check that out at simpletrading.com/Raghee workspace bundle. I'm sure you all have got the emails by now. Today we're going to be diving into the day trading live trading session, the day trading discussion about the indicators. So that's what's coming up here in about 10 minutes. So looking forward to that. Next up is a question on, I saw it just scroll by. There we go. XLV and XLU. Donald, these are interesting. These are two very interesting markets because they're really on two different sides of what it is that I'm looking at. In other words, XLV Healthcare has been really one of the relative outperforming leaders in this space of sectors that are heavily weighted within the indices. I like XLV a lot. This pullback, I would be focusing on the long side of this market despite the weakness. And a lot of traders confuse trend with momentum. We have bearish momentum now, definitely not a bearish trend. Now, XLU is a little bit more what I would consider, and a lot of people consider, defensive. What that means is this is not a corner of the market that's heavily weighted in the indices. But at the same time, it's a corner of the market that if there's an overall fear, panic, if there is concern about tech rolling over, S&P, NASDAQ getting weak, usually places like utilities and staples for that matter will benefit. Now, let me remind everybody of something. We still have very good, strong uptrends in the S&P and the NASDAQ. And I have not seen so much, oh my gosh, the markets are going to roll over and die in a long time. And I'm going to clue something into everybody that I think you all know. Markets don't roll over when we're all talking about it. Markets don't roll over when everyone's saying the markets are going to roll over. They just don't work that way. It's a function of discounting. It's really a function of what typically is going to happen is the one thing that we have not accounted for. Downtrends don't occur when we're expecting them to come. Breaks of trends don't occur when we're expecting them to come. So the more chatter that I'm hearing about, where's the downtrend? This market's going to crash, the more bullish I am. It's absolutely ludicrous. And you know that if you think back on your trading career, however long or short it may be, when's the last time a market rolled over when everybody was talking about it rolling over? Let them keep talking bearishly. It's actually working for us bulls just fine. So, stick with the strong. Now, here's what's really important. It's not buy the dip across the board. It's buy the dip where we have strength. Now, where does XLU come in and even XLP? If you're concerned about weakness then in the S&P and the NASDAQ, if you're concerned about the possibility of a rollover, then go ahead and play pullbacks in these markets. They're going to be more defensive corners of equities. All right. Okay. So next up is, let's see. Let me get past all the no AV. Thanks for all the patience. Yeah, it was just a weird little glitch. It was on me. It's the internet. It wasn't YouTube or anything. It was my internet just hiccuping as some nasty storms were rolling through. All right. So let's see. Next up is, we've had some, Jimmy, you're down here. Yeah, it's just been gray all morning, gray and thundering and so forth all morning. MSTR buy for the 200. Love the question. Love the specificity. Possibly. Do I like this as a trend? No, but I love what you're focused on. Is there a potential buy around the 200? Here's what I will say. The previous visits to the 200 have not been really strong in terms of that support. Yes, we've broken it and got back above it. So what I would say, Benny, is that let's presume we're going to break the 200. All right, let's presume we could even get down to about 552. And then what we could do is let the 200 be broken and then consider a setup as we're getting back up above the 200. So not a momentum trade per se, but just confirmation that the zone is still a buyable zone, meaning that 200. And then let's just see that the 200 is actually creating that buying nudge that we need, as it has kind of ugly, but it has before. So let's not presume it's going to stop there because the previous action tells us it won't. All right. Okay. So let's see here. What else do we have? Questions? FedEx. Sure. Now, keep in mind where FedEx is in terms of weighting in the broader sectors. Keep that in mind. What I would also say in terms of FedEx is, is it a buy? Well, I guess my first question, and this is what I would ask if you were in one of the rooms with me, what is the setup, right? What is the setup? I've got a downtrend, double red. I've got consistent red grab candles. So why is it a pattern? Is it a read on a certain indicator that's saying that this market might be oversold? So my question is always going to be, what's the setup of all the different indicators or strategies that any one of us are using at any given time? What is it in FedEx that's telling us that not only are we going to stall that downtrend, but that we're going to move up again? And I don't have anything like that that's setting up right now, my friend. It's heading lower, low or too low. It's never a reason for a buy. It's got to be structure of the market, which is bearish right now, and then some sort of support level within that structure that tells me there's a higher possibility for a bounce. So I'll pass on FedEx. I'll definitely pass on FedEx right now. Doesn't mean that later on we may not get an opportunity, but right now I've got to pass. All right, next up is IYR. Okay, so nice structure. Pullbacks happening right now. This is real estate. Yeah, Peter, I like it a lot because I've had my eye on XLRE, which I also like. And I've been looking to see if ITB and XHB organize. XHB is a little further along, by the way. So yes, to the IYT, I'm sorry, not IYT. Yes, the IYR. Yes, the IYR as far as, let's try it again. There we go. Yes, the IYR as far as just rolling with the green grab candles, rolling with the JT multi and buying the dips. I do like it overall. I definitely do like it overall. And then once I hone in on a specific sector, niche, whatever it may be, then we want to go take a look at the individual stocks that are weighted within it. Is there relative outperformance? Do we like the way in which the stocks that are weighted within IYR are behaving? Is there bullishness? And that's where I'll focus on what we call the multi-trend, and I'll focus on what's weighted within the IYR. So you might say, okay, Rog, for instance, give me a for instance, what would we be looking at with IYR? And what I would say we'd want to focus on in IYR is just kind of going from top to bottom in terms of the heavily weighted stocks. AMT, let's see, PLD, CCI, just over 9% weighting within the IYR. And so that's the process. That's that watch list process. So I hope that helps. Yeah, next LRE I like a lot too. So again, same process, Peter. Great stuff. Prabisha, CL. Do we have a crude oil blue light special? Well, you can't have a blue light special and a breakout, Prabish, right? So that's kind of some Raghee terminology. Blue light specials are an opportunity for us to scoop up low cost, sort of ignored strikes and ignored calls in an overall down market. That's what I call a blue light special. I'm able to pick up a sale. We can't get sales with momentum breakouts, Prabish, right? So I agree there might be a breakout. I'm with you there, 100%. We're trying to get through the high of the range. Green grab candles, not a trend, but definitely heading in the right direction. But blue light special and a breakout cannot coexist because it's two different psychologies. But I love that you're seeing the breakout. I agree. And this is something that I think we talked about a little bit on Friday, where I think the free video, I might have touched on this, where I said, look, everyone was getting very pessimistic about the move Friday. I said, look, yen was weak, copper was strong, crude oil is strong. That's not the makings of risk aversion, and this should be overall bullish to equities. And that's what I'll be looking for as you kick off this week. So thank you as always. I apologize for the tech issues early on. Internet just hiccuped. Hopefully it's stable from here on out. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same station. Be good to each other, gang. Until then.